The marketplace of Zenith Station hummed with 1,000 alien voices, each species bartering in their native tongues while universal translators struggled to keep pace. Max Chen navigated through the crowd with practiced ease, his worn jacket marking him as one of the few humans who'd ventured this far into the outer rim. He was looking for Luna Rodriguez, his research partner who'd disappeared into the exotic tech stalls an hour ago. "Max," Luna's voice crackled through his comm. "You need to see this Kavraxi energy converter." The explosion cut her off. Orange plasma fire erupted from the western corridor, scattering merchants and patrons in a wave of panic. Max's military instincts kicked in before his mind could process the chaos. Through the smoke, he spotted the source: 3 armored raiders wielding plasma rifles, their weapons indiscriminately targeting anything that moved. Then he saw the child, a small Lyrani youngling, no more than 3 cycles old by their size, stood frozen in the center of the marketplace. Their bioluminescent skin flickered with terror, parents nowhere in sight. One of the raiders turned, weapon charging, the telltale whine building to a crescendo. Max didn't think. He ran. His boots pounded against metal grating as he closed the distance. The raider's finger tightened on the trigger. Max dove, wrapping himself around the small alien body as the plasma blast struck him square in the back. The pain was immediate and absolute. White-hot agony lanced through his spine as the energy seared through flesh and bone. Max felt his consciousness slipping, the child's frightened trilling the last sound he registered before darkness claimed him. He woke to whispers. Not sounds, exactly, but impressions that resonated directly in his mind. Max's eyes snapped open to find himself in a medical bay, but something was wrong. His body felt different, heavier, yet more powerful. He raised his hand and nearly fell off the bed. His arm was encased in sleek midnight blue armor that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Intricate patterns of silver traced across the surface, pulsing with a rhythm that matched his heartbeat. "You're awake." Luna stood at the doorway, her dark eyes wide with a mixture of relief and amazement. "Max, you've been unconscious for 3 days. And that armor, nobody can figure out how to remove it." Max sat up, marveling at how the armor moved with him as natural as his own skin. "What happened?" "You saved that Lyrani child. The plasma blast should have killed you instantly." Luna approached cautiously, pulling up a holographic display. "Instead, you were transported, molecularly deconstructed and reconstituted inside the Vault of Champions." "The what?" "It's a Lyrani legend," a new voice interjected. An elderly Lyrani stepped forward, their crystalline features reflecting the room's soft light. "A sacred place where the armor of the first protectors has waited for 10,000 years. The armor that bonds only with those who demonstrate the ancient virtue." Max looked down at the armor again. "What virtue?" "Selfless sacrifice for the innocent." The Lyrani placed a 3-fingered hand over their chest in a gesture of deep respect. "You are the first to enter the vault in recorded history. The armor has chosen you, human." Over the next hours, Luna helped him understand. The armor wasn't just protection. It was a living technology, bioengineered by a civilization that had vanished millennia ago. It responded to his thoughts, amplifying his strength 100-fold, projecting energy shields, even allowing him to survive in the vacuum of space. But it was the final test that proved why humans were different. The raiders returned, this time with a warship. They'd heard about the human who'd claimed the legendary armor and wanted it for themselves. Max stood on the station's observation deck, watching their vessel approach, plasma batteries charging for bombardment. 5,000 souls lived on Zenith Station. Humans, Lyrani, Kavraxi, dozens of species. "The armor will protect you," the Lyrani elder said quietly. "You can escape. No one would fault you." Max felt the armor hum against his skin, ready to obey any command. He could survive the upcoming assault. He could live, but 5,000 others couldn't. "That's not how humans work," Max said, and launched himself into space. The armor formed a perfect seal around him, providing oxygen and protection as he flew toward the warship like a midnight comet. The raiders opened fire, plasma bolts that would have vaporized any normal ship. Max raised his hand and the armor responded, projecting shields that absorbed and redirected the energy back at his attackers. Luna watched from the station, monitoring his vitals through the armor's connection. His heart rate is steady. No fear response. How is he so calm? The Lyrani elder's eyes glowed with understanding. Because he made his choice before he ever left the station. Your species doesn't calculate survival odds in moments like these. You decide what's right, then you make reality bend to match. Max tore through the warship's hull with bare hands enhanced by ancient technology. He disabled their weapons, their engines, their life support, leaving them drifting but alive. When he returned to the station, the armor finally retracted, flowing back into a small crystalline node at the base of his spine. He found Luna in their quarters, working on her analysis of the armor's technology. She looked up as he entered, still in his worn jacket, looking exactly as he had 3 days ago. "You know every government in the galaxy is going to want that armor," Luna said softly. Max nodded. "Let them try to take it. The armor doesn't care about politics or power." He smiled slightly. "It cares about the same thing humans do when it matters most. Protecting those who can't protect themselves." Luna stood and embraced him. "That's exactly why it chose you. That's why it chose a human." Outside, the stars wheeled in their ancient dance, indifferent to the drama of mortal species. But in one small corner of the galaxy, an armor forged by a dead civilization had found its purpose again. Bonded to a species that understood a simple truth. Some things are worth more than survival. Some things are worth standing in the fire for. And humans, for all their flaws and contradictions, had never forgotten that lesson. The marketplace of Zenith Station resumed its familiar chaos the next morning. But now, among the 1,000 alien voices, there was a new story being told. The tale of the human who proved that the old virtues weren't dead. They had simply been waiting for the right person to remember them. The end.